my beautiful, wonderful internet friends. How are you guys today? Today we will be covering Richard Ramirez, The Night Stalker. The reason why that one is on my brain right now is because I just watched a few episodes of American Horror Story 1984, if you know. Although that, Richard Ramirez, there's a lot of extra added to it, but you still get the main storyline of who he was. I am doing a blue look today because I have butterflies and just feel like doing that. I am of a legal state. I am of a legal age, so I will be enjoying a vape. I actually have two here. They're both almost out, that's why I have two. And some actual flour. This case is extremely heavy. I didn't have to. I smoked a full bowl just with the video that I watched earlier. I don't normally smoke that much when I'm doing research, but this one's incredibly heavy. I didn't remember it was as heavy as it is. This is a very shortened version of what we're going to be talking about. My notes are actually pretty short for this case. And again, with the book, I actually got copyright marked last time. So I'm not going to be showing as much of the book anymore. It's just going to be a photo of the criminal, and that is all. But first, I'm going to start with my foundation and kind of just ramble for a minute, and then we will get into the case. So, the reason I wanted to do that is because I have some things in my brain that, yeah. I've gotten some comments telling me to stop smoking vaping, and these are mainly my shorts, and I'm still learning how to make shorts. I barely learned how to play music with it a few weeks ago, so yeah. Again, still fresh to this whole YouTube thing. I find it fun though. I find it incredibly fun to post videos and watch it go up and see my friends and family like look at it and stuff. It's fun. I'm not doing this because I expect to get famous or anything. I'm doing this because this is something my mom and I talked about. I want to do this to honor her. And of course, I, as a woman who watches true crime videos pretty much all the time, I watch Mr. Ballin, Bailey Sarian, Kendall Ray on the weekly basis. Unless I'm sick or I take breaks, which when those come up and I take breaks, I will let you guys know. Summer Sanchez is another one that is wonderful, and she does way better work than I do. My phone is taped to a mirror as I'm charging it and I'm filming. That's what I'm doing. That's what I've been doing the whole time. Now when I'm filming shorts, I usually hold my phone because it's a lot easier. Okay, enough rambling for the moment. Makeup time. My fiancé is currently not home, so today there's no music in the background. I thought about playing a CD off of our DVD player, but I didn't know if that meant copyright claim too, so today we are just going to try it this way and see if any of my video gets flagged. Hopefully I get a few more views and subscribers. Because that is the goal. I know that's the goal, is to grow your account. Which, watching the number go from 1,000 to 8,000 in 2 months is incredible. Truly incredible to me. I didn't think anyone would want to watch any of my stuff, and then I see my views go up and I'm just like, wow. I don't know if that's too much information, but I tend to talk a lot. Today is going to be a darker blue look. My time right now is almost 5 o'clock. So, I'm going out later with my fiance after he gets home from work, and that is what I'm doing my makeup for. Actually, the puppy and I and my fiance are going out, so I have no idea what we're doing. I just know we're going to go do something. Usually when it's all three of us, it's like a puppy walk and dinner and, you know. Our puppy, we treat our puppy as our child. And that is a huge blessing to me for several reasons. The first being my fiance and I have only been together a little over a year, no, more than a year. And I've had my puppy for 7 years. He's a 7-year-old little brat sometimes, but that's my baby. But 1 year, yeah, anyways, I didn't expect my puppy to adopt my fiance the way he has. And to watch them be together and hang out, it's beautiful. Okay, next, let's get into the case. Richard Ramirez, born February 29th, 1960, was one of 5 children. Ooh, no, that's not good. I dropped my notes. But I'm going to show you a quick photo of him. Although, the reason why this is going to be a shorter one is because you mentioned Richard Ramirez, you know who he is. One of the easiest known besides the main ones. So that is Mr. Richard Ramirez. Another picture of him. And then another photo of him. And that is all I will be showing from the book today. Yeah. Okay. Quick drink of water, and I will start the reading portion of the videos. Alright, he was known as the Night Stalker because he committed most of his crimes at night. The first crime that we just found out about not that long ago, if you know the case, you know what I'm talking about. Fudge, what was I saying? We don't know if that one was committed at night. When Richard Ramirez was 12, his older cousin showed him some horrible photos from when his cousin was in the war, things he did to women. Richard didn't think it was creepy or weird. He thought it was cool. He had a head injury when he was a child. Not gonna go through all that because, again, if you know the case, you know. He was 22 when he moved to California, and he believed in Satan. All the crimes he committed that were on record when he was convicted all took place in 1985. So, there you go. That is all the information I've written down. Now I will be moving to the book, and then also things that I know just from knowing the case well. One thing that really stuck out when I first listened to this case, which was probably during the pandemic. Yeah, it was during the pandemic. Was that he believed in Satan, and that he would draw pentagrams and make people swear to Satan that they would be quiet and things like that, and that really stuck out. That's something that still sticks in my brain about this case, all 5-6 years later. And the reason why I watched a YouTube video to brush up on this case earlier was because I hadn't watched a YouTube video on him in 6 years or better. So I wanted to really freshen up and learn and not get anything wrong, basically, if I could help it. Okay, so I am going to grab some eyeshadow, and I have the book in front of me, and I'm going to read you the first paragraph, and then we will talk. Before I do that, I'm going to have a quick hit. In November 1989, Richard Ramirez began what was likely to be a lengthy stay on death row at California San Quentin prison. Dubbed the Night Stalker by the news media, he awaited execution for 13 murders and some 30 other associated felonies, ranging from rape to robbery, at least 3 additional killings, and numerous sexual assaults, some of them involving small children, were linked to this Texan-turned-California drifter whose hallmark was random viciousness. I struggle with some of the topics in that first paragraph, and so that's why after some things I have a harder time reading than like other things. So I apologize for that. I don't know if I will ever change it. It's pretty much always been that way. So that is where that is. Even regarding side by side with other serial killers, Ramirez was bizarre, whereas most killers knew to some sort of pattern, slaying prostitutes, for instance, or co-eds or adolescent boys. Ramirez simply skipped into unlit homes and randomly raped and murdered and pillaged as the spirit moved him. His first victim was 79-year-old Jenny Vincow, whom he raped and nearly decapitated in January 1984. Other victims that Ramirez was convicted of killing 9 women and 4 men, ranging in age from 30 to 83, and cut across culture and ethnic lines. The one thing they all had in common was that they died in their homes. Richard Ramirez was born in El Paso, Texas, on February 28, 1960, the youngest of 7 siblings in a working-class Catholic family. Friends remember him as a loner even when he was a boy. So we've heard that before. I mean, I have, especially in the true crime community, about... Sorry, that was just a little heavy. 1 second. Okay. So his first victim was an elderly woman. That is incredibly sad. I mean, any age, but someone that shouldn't have to go through that is children and elderly women. And he has victims of both. Yeah. This is why I waited to cover this one. He shunned gangs but began sniffing glue and smoking marijuana by the time he was in 8th grade. A high school dropout, he was arrested twice on drug possession charges before following a woman to California at the age of 22, which I mentioned earlier. Okay. Yes, I know I'm smoking marijuana as I just mentioned it. That's not lost on me, but I'm not him. So. Why do I feel like I did that wrong? Oh well. Mess up on one side, God messed up on the other. Okay, we'll just redo that in a minute. Things went from bad to worse for Ramirez in his adopted state. He began poking his arms with injections of cocaine and substances and sustained on a diet of junk food. Before long, his teeth were literally rotting in his head, and he was living out of a decrepit old backpack. If he slept indoors, it was generally in Skid Row flop houses. More often, he simply curled up in an unlocked car or lay where he fell in the alley or doorway. I am super tongue twisted. Let's try some more water. I was not even done. Okay. He slept indoors, was generally in Skid Row flop houses. More often, he simply curled up in unlocked cars or his sole livelihood during 1982 and 1983 came from car theft and burglary, and once he wound up in a Los Angeles jail. So, I only have another 2 paragraphs to read from where I just stopped. And it hasn't covered the majority of his crimes in full, which is fine. But that whole 2 pages, it didn't mention anything about him believing in Satan. But if you are to even Google this man, an image will come up with he has a pentagram on one of his palms. I think, I could be wrong, but I believe that is tattooed. I don't think it's like drawn on. I believe that is tattooed on his palm. Just saying. By the time Ramirez started to kill, he was spiraling remorselessly into a rampage of senseless destruction. Later, my stomach. We're gonna take another hit. Okay. Real quick, we're going to grab some eyeshadow, and I'm gonna do the little look that I've been wanting to do. So, taking a black palette eyeshadow that I have and a big fluffy brush, and I'm gonna pull my eyebrow up and put it right above, like so, and fan it out like that. I know this is not a makeup tutorial at all. That last part kind of hit me heavily because I'm starting to remember the last 2-hour video I watched on him, and that is hitting my brain. I love this book, like I said in all my other videos, but I do wish it had more information. But then, as one of my other comments said, that's what the internet is for, so. But I don't want to be like all the other YouTubers out there. That's why I'm trying to do it my way. In case that wasn't obvious. Okay, back to Richard Ramirez. By the time Ramirez started to kill, he was spiraling remorselessly into a rampage. Since this destruction later, he would be made of his flirtation with Satanism, which he brought into the foretime and again in spontaneous courtroom tirades. But the law enforcement official who brought him in to justice placed little stock in his avowed devil worship. They viewed Ramirez as an antisocial deviant addicted to physical violence. He killed, they believed, because he enjoyed it. Ramirez capture marked a signature breakthrough in a field of computerized fingerprint identification. A state-of-the-art system in Sacramento had been up and running all of 3 minutes when it matched a print from a stolen car linked to the Night Stalker case with Ramirez's police record. 2 days later, the killer was apprehended in a Hispanic neighborhood in Los Angeles. And that is all the book has to say on Mr. Ramirez. Again, I will show you that photo of him, and that is all that I'm showing out of the book. Hopefully this one does not get copyrighted. Okay. My other few things that I have to say on him, he dropped out of 9th grade, that was in the book, and he died June 7th, 2013. That isn't in the book because that only goes up to, I think, 2005? Yeah, because there's no cases in there that happened after 2005. So, that is where we are at with that. So that was my take on Richard Ramirez. Now I'm going to finish my makeup and kind of explain my thoughts. Again, this is a case I heard about before I watched the video, being in the true crime community, and things like that. I kind of knew who he was because I'd seen Hotel from American Horror Story already. I didn't know the full story until I, of course, watched a true crime case, which I believe was not done by one of my favorites at the time. And then my mom, the whole reason I started my channel, when I talked to her about him, she knew who he was. She was alive and she had information, and it was really cool to sit and talk to her about it and have her give me information on someone. This is one of the few cases that we actually sat down and I told her, and she was like, yes, I remember when this was on the news. And yeah, that's why I wanted to cover him today, besides just seeing him in American Horror Story, because my mom passed a year ago on the 14th, and right now I am missing her a lot, the past week. And so this case, this memory of her and I talking about this case keeps coming up, and I had to share it. I know this is a weird way to remember her, but I do have other ways. I watch Gilmore Girls and That 70s Show as well. If you guys want me to do a video on my mom, that's obviously a very personal video, just know it could be a few hours. If I get 4 comments asking me to do a video on my mom, I will do it. Yeah. With photos. A few photos. Happy ones. Because I think that'd be good. I'll even wear the favorite shirt of hers, or of mine. The one she liked me the most. Yeah, I think that would be a really cool way to honor my mom, actually. But I'm not going to do it unless my few followers actually want to see it. I'm taking a really, really, really old hard candy eyeshadow and putting it back over my eyelid. I took a Dollar Tree blue earlier. And now I'm just darkening the blue out. Okay. Now, I'm gonna clean this up a little bit and then eyeliner time. So, I am also in the process of trying to figure out a new background for a filming area. I don't think the white door is the greatest thing to look at. I have Toothless in that little corner back there and a Scooby-Doo tent. Again, not the greatest setup, but I am trying here. And then if you look at the top of the video, you probably see the smoke detector. I'm sorry about that too. Again, I so fresh to all of this and I'm figuring it all out. Okay. A little bit of a touch up right here on both sides. By the way, I mentioned my view counts on my shorts earlier. I think the most views any of my long form videos have gotten is like 30. And that's still amazing to me. I think that's friends, family, loved ones watching, and I appreciate every single one of you. You have no idea. But yeah, all my long form videos haven't gotten very many views, and that is fine. I opened the account in December, I think. Maybe the end of November. I have to look. When I posted the first video, I just remember that night was incredibly crazy. I made my first video. We were talking about it, and we had a little bit of like not an argument, but it was more like, well, you keep saying you're gonna start it, but you haven't. And I was like, I'm scared. And he's like, well, you're talking to your phone. No one's gonna see it right away. You don't have to do live streams until, you want to, or you never do. So that was that conversation. He's like, I'm gonna support you no matter what, but I really think you should start. And I was like, okay. And we got really stoned that night, and I filmed my first video. I did it 12 times. My face was so sore the next day with all the makeup, but I didn't care. It was fun. And a little bit addicting, because the next day I filmed again, just because I wanted to. But yeah, that's how that all started. That's not quite even. All right. My fiance is definitely my biggest supporter. It may not seem like it, but he is. He watches all my videos, I guess sometimes when I don't even know it, so. Yeah. I'm going to try really hard this month to start posting shorts every day. It's gonna be a lot of work. It's gonna be interesting, but I'm pretty sure it should have a good outcome. I am not one of those people who's gonna do the dances for views. Not me at all. So, yeah. They are incredibly uneven right now, but yeah, I'm gonna see if I can fix it because I don't wanna go out to dinner looking uneven. Oh, that is so long. Okay. I might need to like redo everything. Yeah, that's okay. So I am gonna stop the video here because I have to redo my eyeliner and I don't need to make the video even longer. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in a few days with another long form video, and I will see you in a few hours with an outfit check and a short. Alright, peace out, have a good day.